Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is prepared to sell either David De Gea or Dean Henderson in the summer transfer window. I think it will be David De Gea. David De Gea and Dean Henderson are battling it out for the number 1 jersey at Manchester United. Now, David De Gea, he's been a long servant at the club. This is his 10th season at Manchester United. He's made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions. David De Gea is a liability. He has made calamitous mistakes in the last couple of years. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. When David De Gea leaves Manchester United, I think he'll go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, and he began his footballing career in Spain. Don't forget, back in 2015, De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, his move to Madrid didn't materialise. To be fair to De Gea, he has done well in some games this season. He did well in the West Brom game. That was our last league game. Made some good saves. He did get criticised after our 3-3 draw with Everton because he made 2 mistakes in that game. Effectively, he cost us that game. Gary Neville come out the other week and said that Solskjaer must deal with the goalkeeper situation, and Gary Neville actually said we need to get a world-class goalkeeper to replace De Gea. Jamie Carragher come out and advised Solskjaer to drop De Gea and give Dean Henderson a run in goal. But like I've said in regards to Dean Henderson, I think he's reliable enough now to become our number 1 goalkeeper. He has got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And Dean Henderson has done well in the games he's played in this season. Before the start of this season, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Manchester United. Solskjaer admitted that it's becoming more and more difficult to leave Dean Henderson out of the side. But we sell De Gea this summer, I think we can get around 50, maybe 60 million pounds. If you'd have asked me a few years ago, I think we'd have got 100 million pounds. You know, do you think there's a chance that Dean Henderson will be in goal tonight for the game against Newcastle? I think Ollie's going to go back with David De Gea. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer confirms he has the backing of the owners to get the players he wants, such as Erling Haaland. So it sounds like Solskjaer's going to be backed in this year's summer transfer window. And this year's summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's biggest in his managerial career. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has endured 4 transfer windows so far as permanent Man United manager, and I don't think he's been backed enough so far. Yeah, he has made good signings. He's spent over £200 million. He's brought the likes of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire into the club. He's also bought Bruno Fernandes in. He brought Odin Igalo in on loan. In the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. But he obviously hasn't got all the players that he wanted in as yet. And yeah, Woodward and that's come out several times to show his support for Solskjaer, and he did say towards the end of last year he will back in with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But yeah, like I've said, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting now poor our recruitment policies been. We've also overpaid for players, and none of the managers have been backed enough since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Woodward's been at the club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. It said the other week that we are prepared to smash our transfer record this summer. And Woodward set to hand Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. Solskjaer's already confirmed he wants 3 summer signings. He wants a forward, a right winger and a centre half, and he's set to sit down with Ed Woodward for talks over our business in the next couple of weeks. Erling Haaland, by the way, he wants a 70 million contract. Man United, Manchester City and Chelsea are interested in Erling Haaland. Solskjaer said the other week that he's following Erling Haaland's progress, and he made a new Erling Haaland transfer admission and opened up on the Erling Haaland relationship. It'd be good to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reunite with Erling Haaland. Solskjaer knows the player well. Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. Since Haaland's arrival at Borussia Dortmund, he has been a revelation. He's been at Dortmund now over a year. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. Next year, he has a £68 million release clause, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. Erling Haaland's father, Al Finch Haaland, was talking about his son's transfer links to Man United earlier on in the season. And back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Now, there's still a chance that we'll sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. Kicker via Sports Witness recently said that a Jadon Sancho transfer is coming in the summer. But Dortmund have said they will sell Jadon Sancho this summer on one condition. That's if they can keep Erling Haaland. So what Dortmund are saying in that aspect is that, they don't want to sell both players in the summer transfer window. Dortmund face a summer of transfer exits. He said the other week that they could sell up to 8 players to raise funds. And earlier on this season, from Bild, it said Dortmund reduced their asking price for Jadon Sancho to £88 million. So they're not £20 million off, because last summer, Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million for Jadon Sancho, and we was not willing to meet that valuation. Sancho was our number 1 priority target last summer. He said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he's spoken a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Falk. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Earlier on this season, Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund. Dortmund have enjoyed a poor season anyway. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very consistent. This is Jadon Sancho's 4th season with Dortmund. He's got a contract with them until 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. Jules Koundé, he's our top target for the summer. The Spanish outlet La Razón recently said that we are considered the favourites to sign Jules Koundé. He says we are prepared to pay £61 million for him. And Real Madrid have also been in for him. Jules Koundé's performances for Sevilla have been outstanding this season. He's played around 70 odd games for Sevilla. He's got a contract with them until 2024. Sevilla paid £22 million for Koundé from Bordeaux back in the summer of 2019. He is a centre-half. Do you think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? He said not so long ago that we had a 5-man centre-back shortlist. Yesterday as well, I give you the news on Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. He says Man United are in a transfer race with Man City for Kalidou Koulibaly. Fabrizio Romano said last summer that Manchester City were keen on signing him. And he said Man City were in advanced talks with Napoli, but no agreement was reached. Kalidou Koulibaly is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's been a long-serving player at Napoli. He's been at Napoli now for like 7 years. He's made 198 appearances in the Serie A. And he's made over 270 appearances in all competitions. He's got a contract with Napoli until 2023. Napoli paid around £6.5 million for him from Genk back in 2014. There was narratives coming out about Kalidou Koulibaly back in January, but Napoli said that he wasn't going to be sold in the January transfer window, and they slapped a £100 million asking price on him. Solskjaer said earlier on this season that our summer transfer plans could be affected by the pandemic, but despite the pandemic, I am expecting us to do business in the summer transfer window. Because it was a disappointing January transfer window for us. We only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. But Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. I also think more players will leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. I think there's a good chance that Juan Mata will leave the club. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June. We do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Solskjaer made an admission earlier on this season regarding Juan Mata and said that his future is uncertain. Juan Mata doesn't really play a lot now, does he? But I think he's had a good career at Manchester United. He's been at the club now over 6 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. And he's made over 200 appearances for us in all competitions, and he scored like 50 goals. Earlier on this season, Mata rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave this year. I'm surprised Phil Jones didn't leave in the January transfer window. But actually, Solskjaer came out and said he's going to be given a second chance. He's Phil Jones. You know, Jones has been out of injury for over a year now. This is his 10th season at Manchester United. So Jones has been a long-serving player. He's the only outfield player that's still here since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, there's still a chance that Paul Pogba will leave the football club in the summer. Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. There's 3 clubs that are in for Paul Pogba. That's Real Madrid, PSG and Juventus. It recently said we'd revealed our asking price for Paul Pogba. We want £100 million. I'm very sceptical we'll get £100 million. Mini Oriola is desperate to get his client out of the football club this summer. You know, Mini Oriola's been criticised quite a few times and he doesn't have a good relationship with Man United. That's why Mini Oriola recently admitted that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. And he refused to comment on Paul Pogba's future. Mini Oriola made an announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba. And Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, so he's under contract with the club until June 2022. Now, it said a few weeks ago that we've held talks with Paul Pogba regarding his future, and Solskjaer said he's happy at the club and he suggested he could sign a new contract. Last month, it said that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club and he contradicted his agent Mini Oriola for the second time. So Paul Pogba's future is on hold until the end of the season. Paul Pogba is out with a thigh injury at the moment. Solskjaer did confirm prior to the game against Real Sociedad that Paul Pogba is going to be out for the rest of February. Should be back in early March. Paul Pogba's performances have been very, very good in recent months. He has been enjoying the best period in his Man United career since he rejoined. He was out with an ankle injury earlier on this season was Pogba, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained quite a few injuries now at Man United. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. But if he goes in the summer, who is going to replace Paul Pogba? And like I said, David De Gea or Dean Henderson are going to leave in the summer. Matic, do you think there's a chance he'll leave in the summer as well? Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. And as you all know, I've always had my reservations about Nemanja Matic because he's always been a slow player, and plus he's ageing up now. Matic has been at the club almost 4 years. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. But in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I say, he does deserve more backing at the football club because I think Solskjaer has made very, very good progress in the last year or so. You know, there's been some games where he's got the best out of the team. You know, there's been some games where Solskjaer has showed tactical flexibility. In recent months, I've seen performances improve. You know, we've got certain players that are improving at Manchester United. Yeah, we've enjoyed our bad periods under Ole. You know, we haven't done well in the league recently. We've only won 1 of our last 5 league games, so we must beat Newcastle tonight. We was poor earlier on this season. I'm surprised Solskjaer wasn't sacked earlier on this season. He was very, very close to getting sacked, but we deserve credit for sticking with him. The first part of last season was very, very poor because we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And Solskjaer's been criticised a lot as Manchester United manager. You know, Solskjaer deserves credit as well because he's got us to the Europa League last 16. You know, he's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to Man City. We've got a fantastic away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We're unbeaten in our last 9 away games in all competitions. You know, Ollie did well last season. In his first full season at the club, he guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us 3rd place and got us qualification for the Champions League. And we also went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season and was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League until Crystal Palace had beaten us on the opening day of this season. And to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's credit as well, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. You know, we saw a few players leaving the January transfer window. We saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We saw Facundo Pellistri go out on loan. We saw Teden Mengi go out on loan. Ordina Gallo said his farewells to the club. We saw Rojo leave the club. We also saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave the club. I've said to you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to win a trophy at Manchester United to avoid the sack. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017, and a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. You know, the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy, and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently warned Manchester City that the Premier League title race is not over. You know, Solskjaer said the exact same thing after the 1-1 draw with West Brom. He says Man United are still in the title race and will not settle for second in the title race. That's Solskjaer playing mind games though, because I can assure that the title race is over. Manchester City are the champions-elect. Solskjaer made an admission after our 3-3 draw with Everton and said we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. I think we'll win another title at some point, but I don't know when. You know, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 3rd season and his 2nd full season. You know, he's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. Reflecting now on he's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. You know, he's learnt quite a bit on the job. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Mulder, and before then he was at Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was disastrous. Don't forget though as well, he did manage the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, did Ollie, so he did watch some of this team at this day and age grow and develop. Solskjaer's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. I think we'll give Solskjaer a new contract at the end of the season. It recently said though that Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that he's still waiting to open talks over a new contract, but he said the other week that we will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer, and it said we could offer him a new 2-year deal. On one condition, that's if we qualify for the Champions League. Solskjaer is into the final 18 months of his current contract. But like I say, top 4 is our aim this season, and I can almost assure that we are going to finish in the top 4. It would be a disaster to finish out of the top 4, because we do need to qualify for the Champions League to attract players to the highest level. Like I said, we appointed Solskjaer in December 2018, you know, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Don't forget as well, Solskjaer still inheriting players from other managerial eras. Ollie's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. We sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and that was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, and we're not even really known as a sacking football club. I've got to probably say Solskjaer's the best manager since Ferguson. You know, he was certainly a much better manager than David Moyes was. But it's good that we've had periods when we've seen consistency under Ollie, because we didn't see consistency for a long time. I think we've made mistakes as well since Ferguson retired. That's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. You know, like I said, the vast majority of the players we've brought in since Ferguson left haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. We've overpaid for players. You know, Ferguson made one mistake. That was recommending Moyes in. A lot of United fans think we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job too soon. So yeah, there are prime examples of mistakes. But like I've said, Tino, these players that are really improving at Manchester United. You know, you've got Dean Henderson that's done well this season. You've got Luke Shaw that's playing really well. And Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. You know, you've got Wan-Bissaka that's playing really well. There's been some games this season where he's got forward well. You've got Bay that's done well in the games he's played in. But me, I'm concerned about Bay. He's too injury prone. But I certainly prefer Eric Bay to Victor Lindelof, because Victor Lindelof is now a liability. You know, you've got Fred that's really improving. He's made over 100 appearances now for Man United in all competitions. Like I said, we've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months before he got this thigh injury. Donny van der Beek's a good player when he plays, but he hardly plays for Man United, Donny van der Beek. You know, most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. So he's played nowhere near as much as I expected. Bruno, he's made a difference since he's come in. People say without him we won't be in the position that we're in now. The same with Belower. You know, Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Edison Cavani is set for contract extension talks. We'll trigger that 1-year extension on his contract. We haven't done it as yet, though. He'll stay for one more season, Cavani, then I think he'll go. Cavani said anyway he wants to stay beyond this season. Mason Greenwood's done very well. And he's done well recently, despite not scoring. Mason Greenwood recently signed a new 4-year contract at Man United. I think Rashford's done well as well, but Rashford has endured his bad periods. So there you go. By the way, I think Cavani's back for the game against Newcastle tonight. I think Donny van der Beek's also available. I think it's only Paul Pogba and Phil Jones that are now out, and Solskjaer said he doesn't know how Scott McTominay is. But yeah, he will make some changes in this game against Newcastle tonight from the 4-0 win against Real Sociedad recently. And Solskjaer said in regards to Amad Diallo-Traore could be making his first start for the club next week in the second leg against Real Sociedad. Good to see Amad Diallo-Traore make his first team debut in the first leg. Came on and showed his skills in that. Amad Diallo-Traore had been doing very well for the under-23s. So anyway guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.